Trump, he the villain. On the shit, I just promise I never forget your struggle in the apartment. After they shot you for nothing, so I understand. I will not tell you not to ride of my people that felt pain. I feel it deep inside. We know much more than 40 acres and that's some music. Should have stopped the shit with them until that they did. Why they talking just so much? Los Angeles, we just only want the real. Only just want to watching all this go down. With Jefferson through the window. I'm wishing I could tell you, but a nephew can just tell you. The police say, I thought they protected sir. They say we should stop the violence. Hell no. To the cops, I stop. George Floyd, Hunter stop. Can't forget it. They racing to the clock. And now Rashard Brooks. George Floyd. The bigger pitch.
What it do is your boy Alfie D in the place to be, the place Street Talk Podcast. We Real Estate Wednesdays with my girl Dawn. How you doing today? How you feeling?
Good evening. I'm doing well. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
1 second. I can. What about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Today.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Like I said, it's Real Estate Wednesday. We back here. Streets every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Music by my man 29th Street, straight out of Baltimore. Unfortunate, nice, powerful song. So how was your week?
It was good. Very productive since the last time we spoke. I don't have any complaints. How about you?
Every day is pregnant with possibility. So had a great week. Hey, we're ready to get into this. I see right now on the screen you figure it out. So I see you got a whole arsenal this week. I mean, with some ammunition and everything.
Yes. We have to cater to our visual learners as well.
Exactly. You know, that's me. I'm more of a visual a visual learner than anything. You can put the directions right there in front of me. Yeah, I'll read it and all right, but I want to see exactly how it works. I want to see how it works. And that's why we had Streetcast. We break it down for you in layman's terms so you can see how things work. I don't care what it is, you're going to learn how things get down for you. Starting this week with the Real Estate Wednesday, Miss Lemon here from DLCell Homes. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get started. Let me know if you pull this up on the screen now, or you want to just go ahead and you want to hold up.
I mean, I'll pull it up because I have to switch it to the actual PowerPoint, but I wanted to reintroduce myself for those who weren't here last week. My name is Dawn Lemon. I am a realtor with Realty One Group Universal. I sell homes. DL sells homes. So this week I have a slide actually with my contact information, so we don't have to keep saying it and expecting people to write it down. So I did a little bit better this week. So we can go ahead and get started. I know that you put it out there that you wanted to discuss this week the home buying process from start to finish.
Yes.
So I actually put together, this is one page, but it pretty much is a roadmap for anyone who has ever been interested in, they just don't know where to start. So that is what's keeping them from moving forward, is not knowing where to start in the process. So let me go ahead and get my
like you said, it's a nice little okay. I see you there now. Let me go ahead and turn it on. Yeah, it's, like I say, it's a nice process. It's a very nice process, a long, lengthy process, but it's well worth it. Like I say, it's well worth it. It's going to be your biggest investment thus far. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's go jump right on into it.
Yeah, and your agent, that's what your agent is for. So, of course, the first step in the process is to meet with a real estate professional. Take advantage of the real estate agents that are out here, including myself. I'm always scheduling both buyer and seller consultations. I don't want you to think that I only represent buyers in this process. I also represent sellers. So if you're looking to sell your home, we can also do a consultation, but the first step on either side would be to meet with a real estate professional. That way you can sit down, discuss your goals in terms of purchasing your first home. You discuss briefly your finances. I am not a lender, nor is any other real estate agent that I know. So we are able to cover and go over the basic information with you, but the lender has the ultimate say when it comes down to how much of a house you can afford, um, things of that nature, what your credit looks like, what you qualify for, etc. So we wouldn't be able to do any type of qualification during that conversation, but we definitely want to talk to you and get you prepared to get to put you with a lender who would be able to better assist you. So then the next step in that process, once we have the conversation about your goals, about where you are financially, and we learn a lot about each other during this meeting. So you learn about your agent, you learn about me, I learn about you. We kind of find a common middle ground and with the expectation of on both ends, and then we move forward with getting you referred to a lender. The lender is going to be the most important step in the process. And there are often times where a home buyer actually talks to a lender first before they actually speak with me. So, and that's perfectly okay, because that means by the time you get to me, you're already ready. So then we just need to figure out what it is you want, which direction we're going in, and we can start the process. But if it happens to work the other way, where you meet with me first and then I send you over to a lender, you don't have to go with a lender that your agent recommends or that I would recommend to you. If you have your own lender that you want to work with, that's perfectly okay. It is very important that you shop around for who is going to give you the best rate, who's going to be able to provide you with the most assistance when it comes down to closing costs and down payment, who is most knowledgeable about the programs that are available to you based on your financial circumstance, etc. So when you meet with your real estate agent and we have that discussion about what your goals are, where you are financially, pretty much any lender that I would recommend to you would be a lender who goes best with your current situation or circumstance. And so from there, once you get pre-approved, you work with your lender. When you go to your lender, they are going to require, that's where you provide your pay stubs, you provide your W-2. So you need 2 years. It's pretty much always, remember, when you talk to your lender, anything that they ask you for is going to be in twos. So you need 2 months worth of bank statements. You need 2 months worth of pay stubs. You need 2 years worth of W-2s. So everything is going to be in twos in order for them to pre-approve it. Okay. And then from there, once you get your pre-approval, this is just the beginning of the approval process with their finances. They do a broad overview. They run your credit. They say, okay, based on your debt to income ratio, we can afford to lend you this amount of money to buy your home. You take that pre-approval, we start looking for a home in that time. Once you actually find a home and put a contract in, that's when the formal lending application process begins. So that's when your information goes to the underwriter. A lot can happen in that time, so make sure that you definitely stay clear of making any big purchases during that time. Hopefully nothing delinquent or no derogatory marks come up on your credit during that time, because that's when you'll have to come up with a plan to address all of that before you can actually settle on your home. So this is a very crucial step in that process. Once you get pre-approved, like I said, we go out there, we start searching for a home. Based off of our initial meeting, what you tell me you want, I start searching for homes that have everything that's on your must-have list. So we always do a must-have, what must you have, and your agent will. Well, I know I definitely am always honest with my clients. Sometimes, you might be a little over the top with what you must have in comparison to what you've been approved for. So again, we find a common ground. We meet in the middle.
I think we just lost her for a minute. That's 1 second. Let's go ahead and get her back. There we go. There we go. She's back now. Yeah, somebody didn't want us to get this information. So
Really?
She's back now. We got her back up on here. So, yeah, somebody don't want us to put this information out here. That was the government.
So what was the last thing? Where did it cut off?
It only cut off for a couple of seconds.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're searching for a home. So you all heard that, right?
Yep, well, we heard that. As soon as you said search for home, it cut right on off.
Okay, so we search for a home based off of our initial meeting and what you share with me you would like to have in your home. What is your ideal home? The area you're looking in. I start looking for homes, sending you homes. We go out, we look at them. You find that one house that when we walk in the door, it feels like home. We want to put an offer in, we put an offer in. So once we put an offer in, that's pretty much when we decide on a fair price, what you're willing to pay. If it's what they're asking, we put in an offer for the asking price. We do our negotiating and any contingencies, etc. We write all of that up in the offer. We submit it to the selling agent or the listing agent, should I say, and we wait for a response. So once we get a response, if they counter our offer, if there's anything that they want to ask of us that we didn't include in our initial offer. So just say, for instance, we find a house, they want 170, we offer 165, they can counter with 168. So it's not a ratified contract until they actually accept it. So we work through the negotiation process with any counter offers, etc. And once we finally get to a point where both parties accept the offer and they sign off on it, it then becomes a ratified contract. So once you have a ratified contract, that's when we begin the process with the formal lending application process. So you'll reach out to your lender. We schedule a home inspection, which is extremely important. That's how you protect your investment. Your inspector, the home inspector is definitely going to be the buyer's responsibility to seek out and to also schedule. So the buyer is always the home inspector's client, not me as the agent. I am just there to support you and help you through the process with your home inspection. Ultimately, the home inspector is hired by you and they work for you. So you're the middleman between myself and the home inspector. So anything that is communicated formally from your inspector, you send to me. If we need to negotiate anything being fixed or whatever the case may be, I do submit that information. There's a formal document that has to be drawn up. We submit it to the seller in hopes that they would fix or address any concerns or issues that comes up during their home inspection. So these are all of the things that happen while we're under contract. The underwriting process starts, home inspection, your title work starts. So I also send your information. So you are also responsible for picking a title company. We can go with a title company that I would recommend, or you can actually go with your own title company. It's totally up to you. But the title company does the research on your home. They make sure that when you go to settlement, that your deed is delivered, your title is delivered to you free and clear of any liens. So whomever owned the property before, make sure that they've paid all of their taxes, make sure that they don't owe anybody any money, because if we don't do a title search and the lien comes back later on down the line, you can be responsible for that previous owner's mishaps. So we definitely send the information over. Make sure you have your title work done. Make sure you get a clear and free title. And you also want to consider, it is optional but highly recommended, that you purchase title insurance. So the title insurance is pretty much what you purchase, that where if down the line, say for instance, it is 2 or 3 years down the line, a lien does come up that the title company didn't find during their initial search, you're actually covered and you won't be responsible for paying anything. So that is an option. On your settlement sheet, you'll notice that you'll be charged for it, and because it's optional, sometimes people have to forgo that piece of it just to save a little bit of money. But it's always worth it to have it, because there have been times, I know I haven't experienced it, but I know another agent who recently experienced, where she had a client who settled on a property and a lien came up. He wasn't even there for like 90 days and a lien came up, and it was all resolved because of that title insurance. So if you can do it, absolutely, I would highly recommend it. But again, that's what your agent is there for, to go over everything and explain it to you. And all of this is while we're under contract. So this is where you find out how much what your mortgage payments will actually be once the loan settles, how much money you actually need to put in escrow, which will cover the first 90 days of your taxes, your property insurance, and your mortgage and interest. So I'm sorry, not the mortgage, the interest goes into escrow. So these are all things that you are responsible for, not interest, I'm sorry, it's property tax and your insurance. It goes into escrow. So these are all of the things that you will be responsible for having upon settlement. So all of this will be explained to you. How much you actually need is where this during this process, that's where you learn all of this information. So any questions you have about that, you're always going to get estimates and roundabout figures, and some people don't even like to speak on it until you actually get to the step in the process, because we don't want you to go in with any false perception of what you're actually looking to pay, and then you find out that you have to pay more. I mean, anybody wouldn't mind having to pay less, but when it comes back that you have to pay more, we don't want to cause any confusion. So a lot of the title company, the lender, they don't like to give you any numbers ahead of time without getting to this point in the process where we have a better idea of what everything looks like. So the final details, so coming up to your last day, so we go through the entire process. We have the property inspection, the title work is complete. You're in the final stages of your loan being processed. Is where you'll receive several statements throughout the process from the lender. You'll receive a loan estimate, and then you'll receive a closing statement also. You'll receive an alta. So at least 3 days before, it has to be at least 3 days before your settlement, where you receive a statement that will outline all of the fees, and it will tell you exactly how much money you have to bring to the settlement table once they apply any.
There she goes. She's back again. There we go. We good.
Oh my
The
gosh.
I don't know what's going on, but you keep getting kicked off or something for some reason. But we good now. So it was only off for a couple of seconds.
All right. Well, at any point, if anyone has any questions, I can't see you right now because I have this PowerPoint up, but feel free to interrupt me, and I will be happy to answer any questions or anything that you may have.
And I'm gonna put the caption part up, so if anyone want to put in, want to type in any questions, anything like that, you can go ahead and type in your questions, and we'll be able to see it for you.
Okay. All righty, cool. So as I was mentioning, we get to the final steps in the process when everything for the most part is finalized. You get an actual settlement date schedule, and time and location, and you find out exactly how much money you need to bring to the settlement table. All of this is pretty much part of the final details. And then we go to closing day. So at closing day, we pretty much, it's pretty much easy peasy. There is a lot of paperwork that you have to sign because that's where transfer of ownership actually takes place on closing day. You pretty much everything is explained to you in detail, what you're signing, why you're signing it. You have the opportunity in some cases to meet the actual seller of the home. Any warranties, any information pertaining to the home is pretty much transferred over during that time. And you get your keys to your new home and you're sold. So that's pretty much how the process works from beginning to end. It is a lot, but it's not as challenging as you think it may be, especially when you have the support and everybody around you is supporting you through the process as they should be. So anytime you have any questions, do not ever hesitate to ask your agent, ask questions with your lender. If you have any questions with the title, like anything, any questions that you have at any point in this process, you definitely want to pay attention to that home inspection. That is key, because once the home inspection is done, you pretty much go to settlement. If anything goes wrong from that point forward, it becomes your responsibility. So definitely pay close attention to your property inspection. Once you get those results back and the loan checks out, it's pretty much coasting from there. You're just waiting on settlement day, making sure that you get the money wired to the title company in time so that there aren't any delays. There are delays that actually happen, but you try your best to make sure that it's not on you, and just make sure you have all of your finances together, everything in order, and you pretty much get prepared for closing day. Did we get any questions yet? Because I can't see the screen until I close it out.
No, I don't see anything that came up yet.
Okay.
I got it at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, fine. So I just have let's find your new home. So again, this is just, a broad overview of the process. I am always scheduling buyer consultations to sit down with you, discuss more in detail, answer any questions that you may have pertaining to your own personal situation so that we can find some resolution. We can get you some answers and get the ball rolling, get you started on finding your new home. So, did you have any questions for me, Alfie? We disconnected again.
Someone sent me a question,
Okay.
and I'm pull it up for you. 1 second. Your PowerPoint is okay. I see. Here we go. All right. Just give me 1 second if you want to go ahead. I'm pulling the question up now. You want to go ahead and explain? So like you said, it wasn't that. It's basically like you said. It sounds simple. The most difficult part that, like you're saying, was really trying to clean up your credit and anything that you have lingering over and things like that. And that sounds like the problem, because it sounds like the title company has your back, real estate agent has your back. It's basically, you have to pretty much do what you have to do to, to get there. And I suggest that, like you say, do they still have first time home buyer like programs and things like that, where I know they used to have where so you go in and they talk to you and you have to go like so many hours and things like that you had to do on these programs?
There are still a lot of programs out here. There's still a lot of money. There are a bunch of new programs out here as well. So that again, based on what your goal is in terms of time frame, because the thing about those programs, and it is a benefit to it, but sometimes it's not the shortest process. So you may have a better chance going through an actual mortgage program, or a program that's out here like the Maryland mortgage program, where they don't require you to go to a class or anything. You just have to qualify for their product. But your lender will let based off of your income, based off of your credit, based off of where you intend on moving, because like there's a difference between programs that are offered in the city and the county. So the city, of course, has the most programs. The county only has like, I think it's two now, two programs that you can take advantage of. And so, it again, it's based off of where you're looking to move, what you're willing to, sacrifice to get that money, etc. So they're definitely your lender typically puts you in the program or recommends the best program for you. And some people do it before they even look for an agent. Some people go through the program to start the process before they even contact an agent or a lender, just to start the process. So there are definitely programs still available.
Okay, I got well, I know we touched on this a little last week, but I have a question. Well, maybe like one question, three parts. Credit score. What basically is the credit score that you're going to need to purchase a home? If you previously had a foreclosure, is it hard to get a loan? And what about bankruptcy? If you file bankruptcy, on what is the processes on trying to purchase a home? Do you have to wait standard period, a few years and things like that after you file bankruptcy for you to purchase a home? Or can you just jump right into it? I filed bankruptcy yesterday. I got cleared. I went to court. I'm done. Can I go out and buy me a home tomorrow? And will a lender go ahead and will they take a chance on me?
So bankruptcy, foreclosure. What was the first question?
Credit score.
Credit score, okay. So the minimum credit score that a lender will lend on right now is a 620. Um, of course, the higher your credit score is, the better the terms of your loan is, and that means that you could get a lower interest rate and you don't have to pay as many points, if that makes sense. So that's going to be another topic. So we'll get more into detail with that next week when we'll talk about financing and credit.
Okay.
Um, the same thing I'll say for us. I want to just touch on the bankruptcy and the foreclosure this week, but we'll get more into detail with those things next week. So both of them, you will still absolutely be able to buy a home. It's just going to look like with your bankruptcy, it's going to depend with chapter you filed, there's a certain amount of time for each chapter that it has to be discharged for before you can actually apply for a home again. But you can absolutely still buy another home. The same thing with foreclosure. You can still buy another home once you have a foreclosure as well. So again, we'll get into detail a little bit more on that next week when we touch more on the credit and the financing. But absolutely, like all of those things, you can still absolutely buy a home. You can't just up today, lose your house, and go tomorrow and buy another one, but you can still absolutely buy another house.
Okay. And we was, it's basically gonna stay, in the same in the same area, but we're gonna switch up a little bit, on all, all your time that you've been a real estate agent and things like that. What were some of the most difficult? Do you get, I kind of figured a lot of times you get some agents that get too wrapped up in like with their clients, you have that mother feeling, you love everything. Was it ever a time that you have to break it down to a person and just let them know they found this home that they really wanted, but you didn't want to just like, you went to maybe a couple of processes and you kind of figured that the person was going to be able to get the home, then something came in at the last second and it just changed everything. And that whereas the person is kind of like, this can't do this home, we might have to downstep a little bit or whatever. Do you have any stories like that?
So I would say that does happen a lot. Like you have a client, and that's why I don't like when the clients window shop first, because it makes the process difficult. Okay, you do see houses. Of course, you go to people's houses. And you're like, oh, this is a nice house. Like maybe I should get mine. And then you start looking like, oh, such and such. They have a house up the street from them that's on sale, and etc. And then the next thing you know, they have these high hopes. They go into it with what they want, and a lot of times that's not. It's unrealistic. Like everybody's situation is different. What they can afford is different. So just say Jane, you go to Jane has this big nice house on ABC Street, and up the street around the corner from Jane, and a house goes up for sale. You're like, oh cool, good, I'm gonna buy a house because I want to live. Like I love Jane's house, but you only can afford a house that's $90,000, but Jane paid $180 for hers. So now we're on a hunt for Jane's house at $180 in the $90,000 price range, and it's
just not going to work.
It's like, all right, like that's what we need to do. Like either we need to figure it out, or we need to put take a step back. You need to take a little more time to figure out this income situation. Maybe we need to get the debt down, get your car paid off, or whatever the case may be. At times, people, it definitely does happen like that. You have some people send you running in circles. Like you find a house, they give you their must-have list. You find 5 houses with everything on that list, but that is still not the house for them. And it's just like the neighborhood, whatever they want, the yard, the red door, the tray ceilings, like whatever they say. Everything can be in this house, and you can look at 5 or 6 houses, and they just still say no, that's not the one. And then you need to really sit down and figure out, because sometimes people do get cold feet in the process. So they go through the process, and then they start. You have some people, honestly, they are easily influenced by external factors. So they are like ready to go. Lender, money, everything. All it takes is for one aunt in the family. Girl, you crazy. You can ready to go buy that house. I would never buy another house again. Then the next thing they like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I want to buy a house right now. It's like, so, you never really know, or they never tell you about Aunt Susie that came and told them that. They just make it really hard. They let you keep taking them out to see houses, knowing that Aunt Susie really influenced them and have them really second guessing buying a house. But you don't know that. You're just like, well, what's wrong? Like the house has everything you said you wanted. So it's a lot of different situations that you come up against. And it's just like for us as realtors, like I said, I can't speak for everybody, like I always say, but I want to get paid, but my goal is to make sure that my clients are doing okay. So if you want to go out 7 in the morning, I'm up at 7 in the morning. If you want to go out at 10 at night, I'm out at 10 at night. And if I'm doing this constantly, day after day, week after week, for 3 or 4 months I'm not getting reimbursed for anything, no gas, no time, no anything. And it's just like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? So,
Yeah.
I put everything into all of my clients. I have a client now that I've been working with for probably about 8 months.
Okay. Wow.
It's crazy. Like it's been probably about 8 months now, and it's just like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like sometimes I just like, you know what? I'm gonna just let her simmer a little bit and
Yeah.
figure out what she wants, and we have a conversation. But the thing about it is, I build a relationship with all of my clients where I can have those candid conversations with them, and they're not offended. They understand where I'm coming from. They respect my opinion, and we just redirect and we keep pushing. So sometimes, and that's what, like, it's like like I told you last week, your agent is everything. Like your coach, keep your head in the game. Like, come on, you off track. Like, you need to bring it in. You need to bring it in. So, and I enjoy that part of it. So, and that, like I said, the process. Sometimes the process can break a person down because. I mean, I know for me, it took me an entire year to find a house, literally. Like my broker now that I
Uh-huh.
work under with my license, she was my agent. And she was so patient with me. But I mean, for an entire we contract after contract, and that's the reality of it. But once you do find that house and you get under contract, it's pretty much easy from there. I would say the most stressful part is finding that house, especially in a market like we have today. So when you find that house that you believe is home, just go for it. Don't let Aunt Susie come in and tell you don't buy a house because she hated the fact that she bought a house 50 years ago. Like
She
that was
really want
it,
to get a house as well.
Right.
She probably like that
And
house
I
for
mean,
herself.
this is so true, girl. You crazy if you go and commit your whole life to that 30-year mortgage. You be like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I want to do that. So, and it really happens in real life, but ultimately, I just talk people through it. I just talk them through it. So, like I said, the process can be. I'm not gonna lie and say that
Real
everybody is different, but
uh-huh.
it is not as challenging as people thinks it is.
Patience.
It's just more a fear factor for
Yeah.
some people because it's something that they've never done before, and like all of the myths, like I said, the things that they hear other people talk about, or as soon as something goes wrong, and I wish I never bought this house. Now I gotta get the dryer fixed, and
I'm going through
just
that right
different
now.
things.
I didn't have HVAC over my house 4 times, 2 different companies within 1 month, and I think they finally got it together today. So I know exactly what they're going through.
Right, but after you get that fixed and there's nothing wrong, you cool with your house. Somebody else
Until
talks
something
about
else
buying a
break
house.
down.
Yeah, you like, oh yeah, I would if I would you, I would definitely recommend. But as soon as that HVAC mess up, like I don't even know why I bought. I wish I had a maintenance man that I could just call rid of office and get it fixed. And
Exactly.
then
And the best part that I love about house, and I keep on saying this over and over again, is yours. You can take time to do whatever. And I remember one time I was in the process of redoing my backyard.
Mhm.
So I don't know what I want in there. I'm putting tents up, I'm taking it down, I'm just moving things around. So in the process, ripping up dirt, things like that, trying to put a garden in. So I posted pictures before and after. So I only posted the before. Someone posted a picture. I mean, hit a comment, say, yeah, something you're doing all this in y'all. You need to go and put some, get some grass. So, so my part is it's my home. I can take long to do whatever I want to do, long as it get done. I don't have to pay rent and things like that. So whatever the process. So it's like you're saying, it's a process. You're doing things because I was a kid. I would change my room around 3-4 times a week until I got into like how I really wanted it. Like where so you feel comfortable. Like this is where I like it at. I've been in my house for 6 years and I'm still trying to get my backyard and my front yard together. Every year I change it up. I do something different out there. So that's the best part about ownership because renting, yeah, it's cool, it's fine. Something break, bam. I'm gonna go call the rental office up. Hopefully somebody can come on out here and fix it. Now, if you're not paying your rent on time, a lot of times, you might get pushed to the side a little bit. Not saying that's legal in it, but they're gonna do it. But if it's your home, you can take your time. You can learn how to fix things yourself. You got all this DIY things like. I was already, kind of good with my hands coming up as a kid. But once I got in my own home, I had to learn like certain things. I went to YouTube University and graduated in HVAC on trying to fix my AC maybe about 2 months ago. And it lasts for a while, but then all of a sudden it got a little worse. But it's an adventure. I used to always look at my grandfather as a kid, like he was one of the ones that, go out, he did construction, come home and be able to fix anything inside the house. I don't care what it was. Or he'll fake it. He'll get it working just enough good enough where as though it worked. But I always looked at like, damn, there's nothing like waking up in the morning time, going out there to cut your grass, digging up the dirt and things like that. That's the best part about ownership. So, I mean, I say you guys out there, if you're renting right now, you're not, and you're not ready to buy right now, but still just look around. If you're riding around the neighborhoods, you have to see a nice house, things like that. And like, oh, damn, I might, get a house like that and things like that. I know when I was a kid, my mother used to ride by this one particular house every time we ride up in Old Emerson Avenue area. It was a nice house sit by itself. She's like, that's my dream house. She said she was saying that ever since she was a kid. She didn't, get that home, but she ended up getting a home later on in life and things like that. That ended up becoming her dream home. So it's just like, it's a process, and it's a good feeling to have your own home, to do things, to put dogs in the backyard, have your kids playing and things like that in the backyard, or have company and just relax and, like I say, have a deed burning party like I seen on So I mean, it's a good thing. So take it like in a step, take us in a day of being a realtor, because I know it's stressful. People might think that, oh, you just getting paid to show a home. They don't know what you're doing in that gym at nighttime shooting at 3. They don't know what's going on. And I know it's a stressful thing. Yeah, I mean, you got to paint a nice smile on your face and come out looking nice. It'd be days like you say, you get up at 7 in the morning. You might have just went out, or you might be showing someone a home the night before with your kids doing homework all night long. Now you got to get early in the morning with a person that you're going to show 5 houses, and they don't want these 5 houses. So take us in a day on being a realtor.
So as your agent, on the flip side, I gave you the steps that you take as a home buyer that you go through. And so what I go through in the process is, so I start my mornings typically around 3 a.m. So I go to bed early. Unless I'm out, I'm normally in bed by like 9. I wake up at 3, and then I start, I check the market, see what's coming active for that particular day. If it's anything that meets any of my clients, what they're looking for, I start sending emails and scheduling text messages. Of course, I don't text them that late, so I schedule them to go out at 8 in the morning. So I'm normally up from like 3 to like around 6 doing that. So I'm just prospecting at that time. I'm looking to see, I'm doing research. I have investor clients who have me working on acquiring properties for them. So I'm always like researching to find out information about the owner. So I'm just doing a bunch of things based off of any conversation that week or whatever the case may be. I'm up, making sure that I am doing something to touch each one of my clients every day. So they should get an email from me. They should get a text message from me. I'm checking in with the lender to see where they are in the process, what they need. I'm checking in with my clients every day.
We went back out again. The internet just went back out again. But as you see, it's not just red bottoms and smiles and trips. It's a little bit of everything on being a realtor.
Well, I don't own a pair of red bottoms. So let's start there. Like I'm not gonna say I don't like nice things, but I have better things to do with my money. So
but it's a lot harder than what people think. They say, thinking glitz and glamour and things like that, but it's a lot to put into, like you saying, this work. Getting up at 3 in the morning, putting out these, doing researching, because being on the computer all day long is hard. I know when I was into the real estate some years ago, and I would get up and like, damn, you have some bosses or people that you work for. You're like, all right, they're cool, whatever. I get a phone call 5 something every morning. Like, when did this dude go to sleep? We might have just hung out the night before. You calling me 5 in the morning, talking about, yeah, I'm on a treadmill. So I'm still tired from the night before. And this gentleman was older than me. And I was in my prime. I'm like 27, 28. I'm thinking I'm, young and strong. This man on the treadmill. So when do y'all sleep? I mean, it's a lot of work into trying to acquire these homes. I guess it's just like anything that you want to be good at, or anything you have a passion for. You're gonna be there, like Ross said. You wasn't with me while I was shooting in the gym. You're gonna be out there working hard.
Yeah, because I mean, in this market, it's so competitive. So, you want to if I know my client is looking for a certain type of home in a certain price range, and that type of home comes on I know because on Bright it tells you basically, okay, last 24 hours, this is what came on the market. And it literally gives you 20 updates in 24-hour increments. And so I check it at night before I go to bed. And then I check it when I wake up in the morning to see what came on new. So you have to get those listings out to your clients ASAP. No lie. One day last week, 3 in the morning, send an email to my client. They don't get it until they get up. They up at like 7. I'm asleep at that time because I've been up for the last couple of hours. So I take my little nap and I wake back up around 9. So, and then all my clients know that's my schedule. Get up. They like, okay, let's go see it. When we get to the house, it's 4 people there already. So you don't have time like to check the market every other day, or I'll check it later on today. Like, no, I get alerts to my phone. I have everybody set up on auto email. So when a listing hits the market that matches their criteria, I get an email. We talk about it. Do you want to go see it? Okay, we go see it today. What time? An hour? Okay, I can be ready in an hour. Or no, I can't be ready in an hour. I can be ready in 2. So it's just like making myself available as well, because that's part of making sure that they get a contract. That's the difference between us and me and another agent who might have didn't wake up at 3. Instead they woke up at 9, but then they got up. They had to get the kids ready for school. Then, next thing you know, they don't see the house till 11, 12 o'clock. Their client don't see it until they get off from work. And man, my client already been there. We got an offer in already. So it's just kind of like, I want to work in the best interest of my clients as well. So on the flip side, as an agent, like you said, a lot of people feel like the agents don't do anything, but we really do a lot of work because we get a lot of the phone calls. We get the phone call from both the seller side and the buyer side. If I'm representing the buyer's agent, my buyer's calling me, yeah, whatever the case may be. Okay, hold, let me call the seller. Let me find out what we call the seller. It is a bunch of back and forth for the inspection, for the title work with the lender. Like they email me just as much as they email the buyer. So it's constantly, the admin part of it. I wish I had money to hire somebody, but I don't. So I have to just figure it out right now. But it's just like, it's a lot of work. And people think that we don't do any work, but we do a lot of work. I think I probably work harder as an agent than I work at a 9 to 5.
But hard work pays off.
Yeah, it
hard work
definitely
pays
does.
off.
It definitely does.
Like you say, they say the early bird catches the first worm, and getting up early in the morning, like you say, by 3, and then you go on a meeting, you go into a house, and you already got 4 people already at home. What time did they get up, or did they even go to sleep? So you gotta have that hustle mentality. You gotta have that passion. That's what it sounds like to being an agent.
And we are, like, my brokerage is Dope Realty One Group Universal. So any aspiring agents, new agents who've been in the game that is pretty much just looking for change, we are the unbrokerage. So we don't do things the traditional way. They allow me to be me. You're not going to see me. I mean, it depends on how I feel when I wake up, honestly, because I quit my job because I was tired of like the whole formal corporate suits and all of that. And I kind of like, my clients love me because I'm edgy. They love my style. They love everything. So I can be who I am, still be professional, still deliver exemplary service, still represent my clients in the best way possible. And I'm still me. So it's just, and they love me for that. They, like I said, they value. If I say no, we're not doing it, we don't do it. That's just it. I'm not doing it. We're not doing it, and we're not. So that's just how it is.
You look like you said, like you mean it too.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not. And so that's just, how it is. And I feel like, some people get caught up in different things, but I always tell anybody that I meet with, especially for the first time, if I don't have a personal relationship or they run a referral to me, like, I know what I'm up against, but I know what I can offer, So, I mean, if, give me a chance. Like, let me show you the difference between me and the agent that has 900,000 followers on social media, pictures with the red bottoms on, this, that, the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, exactly. It's like how many of their clients that actually really like them. Customer service take you a long way. Same way, with mom and pop shops. You might go to a mom and pop shop. You might get that same, let's say, shirt at Macy's for $20, but this mom and pop shop might got it for $40. But they treat you so well, and I mean, they treat you like like new money. You're going to keep going to no matter what, you're going to keep on going to that mom and pop shop because it's more convenient and you feel welcome. You feel like they appreciate your money, not somewhere that's going to take your money. You don't even know where that money's going at after it leaves your hand, leaves your hand. So that's the best thing about service. Customer service is the best thing. I tell my job all the time, you paid a lot of money for customer service, so I'm gonna give it to you. You're not gonna worry about. You're not gonna have a client coming back and say, "Oh, he got smart," or "He did this." No, you paid a lot of money for customer service. I'm gonna give them. I might be a little sarcastic at times, whatever, but I'm not gonna mess up my brand on who I am and not give you good customer service. And that's gonna bring
people need that, especially in this process. They don't need a person that's just going to tell them what they want to hear versus what they need to hear. And because again, that's how you learn. Like
exactly.
That's exactly how you learn, and that's what it's all about. Like that's what having an agent is all about. That's what I'm here for, is to educate you and make sure that you make the best decision throughout the entire when it comes to anything, down to, like I said, okay, once you agree to work with me, because of course I want you to work with me if you meet with me, and then I refer you to a lender. I refer you to a lender, and then I check back in and say, well, how did the conversation go? How did you like him? And if they feel like, well, I don't know, he was a bit disparate. Oh, okay, it's totally understandable. You have the option to choose, and make sure you exercise that option in this process, because again, like I said, you're paying your money. You are paying your money, and you want to make sure that you can sleep at night knowing that all of your affairs are handled the right way, and not have to worry about what's going to happen when you work out. Oh my gosh, is this going to be done? Do I need to do this? No, that's what everybody is here for, to make everything go smoothly in your transaction. So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Like I will continue to say this on every podcast. It doesn't cost anything. Like consultations with a lender, with an agent, they are free. Take advantage of those opportunities. Talk to those people. Talk to us. Learn from us what you need, and then make a decision. Is the time now, or should I wait a little bit, or whatever the case may be? That's what we're here for, to help you get to that decision where you can actually make an educated decision, not based on anything but what you know to be true.
Exactly. We're not going to send you out there in the fire, into war, with a butter knife. You're going to make sure you got your armor, you got your shield, and you got backup right behind you. We got Miss Lemon right. That's going to be your agent. She's going to be your backup. So if you're going into war, we want to make sure you're equipped. That's all. We want to make sure you're equipped.
Absolutely.
So as since you've been, all these years, being a realtor now, so it's like, do you regret leaving your job? Or not saying regret, because you shouldn't regret anything, but do you feel like this is where I want to be at? Like you wake up every morning, like feel comfortable and like, man, I gotta go. I gotta never listen. Like you get happy. Do you still feel like you love your job, or it's not a job, but you love it?
Yeah, even in the most challenging moments, I'm not gonna lie and pretend that I don't have days where it's extremely challenging, and I just sit and I had to it's like, let me take a nap, because let me just take a nap.
If you're not questioning yourself, then you're not doing it. Then it's not.
Yeah, let me take a nap and regroup, because it definitely gets challenging. But the thing about it is, like I said, it was something that I always wanted to do, and I'm not just in it. Like I had this, my passion, for this. It supersedes anything else. So it's like when it knocks me down, I get back up, I dust myself off, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Let's keep going, or whatever. Like, what next? So that's pretty much how I look at it. And I feel like, if me as a realtor and a home buyer and a seller, like nothing worth having comes easy. So if it's too easy, you shouldn't really want it. In my opinion, it's just
you don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
It versus from a person being in the streets getting money all the time versus you got to change your life and start getting a job now. You work. Like, I appreciate my check more than anything. Like, I worked hard. I broke my back for this money. So you got to if you're not putting that work in for something, don't nothing.
It's really the same thing with the house. To me, like for a person that rents, you don't value your house as much as you value your house that you buy, that you know that this is like, oh my God. Like, if renting, you be like, oh girl, that hole just down there in the wall. But when you buying a house, you be like, well, let me patch that hole up because I don't know. I don't want that hole to get bigger. Then next thing you know, I can't. So it's just like you value your own house more, and it is. I mean, it's a lot of upkeep because you can't just make a phone call to the rental office and call a maintenance man and come and unclog the toilet. No, you're going to pay $300 for the plumber to come and do it, and that's just that. So
Yep.
it is a difference, but again, you are more conscious of things. And so the if you whoever I don't care what when you're in an apartment, you can they can flush a baby down the toilet. You don't get, you know what I mean? It can be a dog baby. Like where the dog baby always in the toilet. You like it get backed
Dog
up.
baby
You
go
like
down the hole.
yeah, the maintenance man come like oh was a dog baby in the toilet. But at your house, you got a sign over top of the toilet that say do not flush anything down
Exactly.
this
Better not pull
toilet.
no grease down that sink.
So it's a lot different. It causes to me and for me it caused me to be definitely be more responsible.
Exactly.
Because you can and some people I'm not here to judge anybody, but in conversation that is some people they don't want that level of responsibility. And it's I mean, I get it, it's to each his own. But it forces you to me, it's like you're an adult. You a whole an adult when you
Yeah.
own a home because you be like,
Yep.
no, I can't go out and eat this week because I got to
Yeah,
pay
it's the
the
American
washing machine.
dream.
You know what I mean? Like, I
It's
can't
the-
do this. So it's just you have to make better decisions when you own your home. But that's what everybody should be here to support one another through the entire process once you own your home. Like I still, even after my clients go to settlement, if something goes wrong, they still call me. And I'm like, I'm not a maintenance man, but we'll figure it out together.
yeah.
Like buck doesn't stop there. When you go to settlement, it's just like, oh, I'm still here. Like if I can help in any way, that's what we're here for.
Exactly. I mean, like you say, you're going to run into some problems. So we got like two more questions before we wrap up. But like one other thing I want to get into is the first time that you sold your very first home. How did it feel? Like did you like yeah, this is my career right here. Like I'm good. Like or because I know like the first time I opened the restaurant, that first time that first customer came in, got that first dollar, like get that good feeling like yeah, somebody want what I got, or I'm doing like I'm feeling good now. You got that high.
Well, it's funny because my first client till this day doesn't know he was my first client. I never told him. And he spent some money. He won't lie. And to this day, and he's like a repeat client, but he does not know until this day. But the fact that it made me feel really good, because I was confident, but I wasn't really that confident because I was like, oh my God, I was always calling my broker like, oh my God, he asked me this, he asked me that. And I would know the answer, but I just wanted to make sure I was right or whatever. So I
You
would
just
go back to him and have a whole conversation with him. And he don't do anything without me, like anything. And he did it from since day one, since we met. He was a lead off of Zillow, don't know him from a can of paint, but we have grown to be really good partners in business. And that feeling more than anything, more than the commission, more than anything, like the fact that my clients trust me, it means more to me than anything, like honestly. And I just and sometimes, and I know, you and I, we have a lot of friends in common on Facebook and things like that. So it may be even people, I can't see who's on. We can just see that there are people on that
yeah,
may know me or not so much know me, but they like, well, I wouldn't use her because, I don't want anybody in my business. And we run into that as an agent, you run into that a lot.
yeah,
So you feel like, well, then she won't know how much money I make. She won't know how much debt I have. And I don't. Like, to be
yeah.
honest, I really don't. And I keep, like, even with my clients, like, I work with a brother and sister, and when I'm with the sister, I don't talk about the brother. When I'm with
Uh-huh.
the brother, we don't talk about that. You wouldn't even know they were related. They don't do business together, so we don't have anything to talk about. I don't have a reason to talk to either about the other party. Oh yeah, I show him how nothing. They on two different playing fields. They have nothing in common. So the fact that, when I meet total strangers and they trust me more than people that I know, that means a lot to me. And it would mean even more if people out there who do know me that would love to support me, but they are concerned about what that looks like. Like, in terms of confidentiality, like I am not that person. I'm not that agent that I don't get off on discussing other people's business. I work with people that we all know, and nobody knows that I work with them. Like if I go to settlement, I'm not posting a picture. You'll just see that I went to settlement. I won't even post a picture to say that I was working with this person because that's how much I value their trust in me.
Yeah.
So I just want people to understand that it's okay. Like I am that person. Like whatever the situation is, we can talk about it. If you call me and say, well, I want to buy a house but I don't have no money, that's not anybody's business to me. So I don't have a reason to disclose that information to anybody else. So if if you're looking at the podcast,
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna send some. We're gonna write Comcast and we're gonna let them know y'all need to go ahead and come back with this unlimited this unlimited service or something because y'all up here killing us.
no, it's cool
There we
though.
go. There
They
we go.
telling us our time is up. But yeah, that's the biggest piece. Like I said, like just wanting everybody to know that, I definitely hold everybody's information in the highest of confidence. If it's any questions that you have, no question is a stupid question, and you can ask me a question more than once, it's fine. I just want to make sure that everyone has what they need in order to take the next step in the home buying process. So our time is up. It is 9 o'clock.
Wow.
It was a pleasure.
Time go by fast when you're doing something that you like.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate you stopping by again on Real Estate Wednesdays, Street Talk Podcast. We're coming to you again next week. Same time, same place, same channel, same everything. Just because my name is Alfred, I feel like I can say that. So I feel like I can say that.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Oh my
so we come and check, we come back and check us out next week. We will be here again. We got Don Lemon from DL Homes, LVD from Street Talk Podcast. It's been nice talking to you this week. And again, we'll see you again next Wednesday. Holla at you. You enjoy your week again until we see you all again next week.
All righty, good night. And make sure you check I don't know if you can do the PowerPoint had my contact information on there, so I don't know if you can put that up or whatever the case may
I got
be.
It's streaming now. It's on our website. I mean, it's on the website now as we speak. So I got everything, the number, got everything up. So everybody will be able to, to get in contact. Everything is there. So we will make sure y'all can go ahead and watch this again. This will be ran again at 12 o'clock tonight. We're going to be ran again at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So tune in. Like again, holla at you next week. Peace. And we up out of here.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right.
But a nephew can't just tempt. How the police act like that? I thought they protect and serve. They say we should stop the violence. Hell no, pointing to the cops. Now they asking us to stop. George Floyd, hunt to stop. Can't forget about Freddie Gray. They racing to the clock. I can't believe they killed Eric in the middle of the streets. NYC, now it's Minnesota. The shit they get for free. They getting me, they getting you. Man, they getting us for cheap. We done lost blood to these jails, and we got them 6 feet deep. Remember Philando Castile? Now it's getting deep. Just remember that he's still underground. R.I.P. Yeah, they still whipping our ass like this shit was slavery. That's why I'm running like Malcolm, because Martin, he wanted peace. And the visions that I'm having, man, this shit ain't come for cheap. And every day I'm waking up, I'm trying to be a greater me. And I can see these other people having changes in their thoughts. So we point the guns in all directions of changes in our hearts. But we watch that man bag boys like straight on them streets. And we going against each other, man, that shit be looking weak. Got Chicago killing California, Philadelphia, can't forget Baltimore. People that felt pain, I feel it deep inside. We go much more than 40 acres and that's
This song hard.
Shit with them and tell, but this is what they do.
Sorry.
Talking just so much. And we don't hit enough on Sandra. We just only want the real. Only just want.
Hey, Nutty PG did your thing on this beat, shorty.
Through the window. I'm just wishing I could tell you, but a nephew can just tickle. How the police act like that? I thought they protected serve. They said we should stop the violence. Hell no, pointed to the cops. How they asking us to stop? George Floyd, Hunter stop. Can't forget about Freddie Gray racing to the clock. And now Rashard Brooks.
We out here. Peace. 29 Streets coming out of Baltimore. Unfortunate. He's coming out with Woo Child. That's a banger. Another banger. Street Talk Podcast. We up out here. Peace. Holla at your boy. We out here.